This is your uncle. Let's call him Uncle Steve. You are writing a story or an essay or whatever, and you want to include Uncle Steve. Maybe you want to write about that time he gave you that beautiful advice that changed the rest of your life. Or maybe you just want to share the story of how extremely awkward he is in the steam room at the local YMCA. Regardless, you want to introduce your audience to Uncle Steve. But they don't know Uncle Steve. And while this picture and this video of him might suggest a lot about what he's like, you can't just paste into your story a picture of every character you introduce. As a result, you have to find a way to help your audience see or understand the person they have never seen or met. One way to do this is to relate the person your audience is not familiar with to something, someone, or some situation with which they are familiar. For example, if you want to relate the way your uncle looks, you might start by describing his dominant features, one of which is his belly. Having a mental image of this belly might be vital in understanding the awkwardness of his being in the steam room in the Speedo, and so you want to give the audience a good idea of what it's like. But again, they are not familiar with it and have not seen his belly, and so you have to relate it to something they have seen. You might say, his belly bulged over the waist of his Speedo like the top of a brown muffin. When you relate something you are describing to something that it is not by using the word like or and as in the example, bulged over the waist like a brown muffin, this is called a simile. However, the term is less important here than being able to recognize and use this technique of relating something the audience is unfamiliar with to something that it is. So let's continue with the example. In this case, because your uncle is old and his skin is loose, maybe a muffin is too full for his belly. Maybe his belly hangs over his waistband, but not like a muffin. Maybe it spills like slime oozing down over his waistband. It's kind of a gross image, yes, but it is only able to be gross because it is vivid. And this is what we want. We want the audience to be able to imagine this person they have never seen before, and in this case, we have effectively done so by drawing upon their understanding of what slime looks like when it's oozing down a wall or over the edge of a cup. And this is the purpose of a simile, to help people understand things they are unfamiliar with by relating them to things with which they are familiar. Furthermore, this technique isn't just limited to people or to characters. You can relate places and things and actions and feelings that people have not experienced firsthand to those that they have. A room can be like a landmine of dirty underwear. A tree can slouch like a tired old man. A person might even float like a hummingbird. Now go and help people relate to your story. Find a place within your writing now where the reader could better understand a person or a place or an action or a moment by your using a simile to relate it to something with which they are more familiar. Both your reader and your writer will benefit from doing so. Until next time, keep on writing.